Hey everybody, I'm here with Principal Master Builder, right? Ron Thorn and Mike Stand. And as you guys know, I have a custom shop Time Machine Stratocaster 64 that I love. But I've never really spent much time with a master built guitar, and I had questions about the program, so I thought I would ask Mr. Ron Thorn.
All right.
Thank you for joining
Sure
us.
thing. My pleasure. Thank you.
So, what I understand is the master built program, you work with a team. Is that true for all master builders, or is it just you, or is it like what's a master when I order a master built guitar, what's the process of it coming into reality from wood?
All right. There's 12 master builders.
Yeah.
Some of us have an apprentice, including myself,
Okay.
Steve Mather, who used to work for me at Thorn Guitars for 9 years. So
awesome.
when it got to the point where my order numbers warranted a little extra help, I said, there's only one guy on the planet, bring him in. So very familiar with him. There wasn't any learning curve. It was, right out of the gate, he's good to go. So a few of us have assistants.
Okay.
Some of us work alone. Jason Smith works alone, Paul Waller. There's a few of us that just want to do it entirely by themselves. And that's essentially it. Other than paint, rarely do we suit up. If we do suit up to go into the paint booth, it's to kind of guide Jay, who's our painter, kind of give him an idea, like maybe a little more burst, a little bluer, etc. But he's so good. Really, you kind of want Jay to paint your guitar for you. So other than that, we're pretty much 100% hands-on. And we may get some help here and there doing certain things, wiring up guards and stuff. But for the most part, it's a small operation for the master builder.
Okay, awesome. Because I saw an interview with John Cruz where he talked about having guys and stuff. So that's where that preconception came from and why.
Yeah. Well, for example, the inlay work, I was the vendor for Fender for their inlay work since the mid-90s. So anything with custom inlay used to get sent to me. Now that I'm on the team, I'll do the programming and I'll hand it off. And in fact, this piece right here, John's assistant did the actual inlay. He glued it all in and leveled it and slotted it. So I'm trying to, raise the tide for everybody in there with making everybody doing a little bit more for that in that regard.
And that is gorgeous work. And I've seen lots of crazy stuff you've done that's been stunning as well. So another question I had is, so I have my 64 Time Machine Strat. If I were to spec a master-built guitar that's basically the same specs on paper as that guitar, would there still be things that I would be able to tell, like, oh, this one's the master-built? Like, is there things that I would touch and feel on the guitar where it's like, oh, yeah, I can feel the fretwork is better, or like anything like that you would?
Not to discount our team's fretwork. I mean, it's phenomenal. But you may get a little more attention to detail on that. And whether or not you even want to do that, a master build version of a team built guitar, the differences may not be that obvious. I mean, and again, it comes down to the way we do things. Paul Waller's fretwork is completely different than mine, so that may be an indication. Does one play better than the other? That's subjective, absolutely. So there may be some differences like that, but I always felt that the master build program was to do things that you can't get on the regular line or the team built line, or it's the neck carve that you want specific for you, or the color, or the configuration, or the radius, some detail that isn't obtainable through the team built process, because those are such great guitars on their own.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I was curious, like, is it mostly about the level of customization? Because you can basically do anything you can dream of, as you can see on the walls here with the master build program. So if I was trying to just get like a really authentic, 61, oh yeah, wrong word, sorry, a really true to history 61 Strat replica from the custom shop, I'd be just as well just ordering that from the normal team built program probably, and I wouldn't see enough unless I was really in love with your fretwork or something to order it.
That comes down to you, right? That comes down to you, and then the experience, and then the collaboration and the partnership. And I've got to admit, some of my best friends started off as cold call customers. They call me up and now they're my best buddies. So it really depends on what the experience would be for you. But as far as a quality instrument, you're going to get that at any level. The master build would just be a little more refined and a little more time spent on it. The little details for a stock guitar like that. I always have to preface that. Also, the pickups, though. Josefina hand-wound pickups come in all the master built guitars. There's a slight difference there, too. All right.
I was curious because lately I've been obsessed with like thinking about whether to buy a vintage guitar or whether to buy a Fender custom shop that's like custom spec, or whether to go all the way to Masterbuilt or what, because like it's just the natural journey that we all go on. So
Because he makes way too much money.
I mean, not
Why not have them all?
yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. And then I can decide for myself.
Nice. Nicely done, Mr. Thorn.
Okay, well, Ron, I really thank you for your time and really appreciate it. Anyone who hasn't seen this guy's work, go check it out. It's amazing and crazy. I mean, and look at the wall behind us to see Masterbuilt stuff. Mike Stand, thanks for helping us. I really appreciate it.
I actually came up with a question.
Okay, what's your question?
So, Ron, you don't know me. You have the right to fully beat me up about this question, okay? Or just to walk off if you want to. It's totally fine. You guys from marketing know that I'm honest on my channel and they applaud that. So just react in any way you want. I won't be offended. I hope you're not offended. Last year there was this whole, I'm going to call it Stencilgate thing, where there were many pictures of custom shop guitars and obviously not Masterbuilt, I would assume. And they all kind of had the same aging on them. And I was, wondering, like, is that actually something that saves time? Is that something I would want? My girlfriend looked at the pictures and I was like, oh my God, how can they do it? And fuck Fender, blah, blah. And she's like, who gives a shit if some guy somewhere else in the world has the same aging? Like, are you nuts? She was yelling at me like, you're an idiot. But us, we want something very unique.
Right.
And now the first thing I look, because I kind of have it in memory, I look at a Fender custom shop, I'm like, oh wait, I can see that stencil. Is that really something that, is it really something that saves this much time?
It is not, has nothing to do with time. In fact, I guarantee it takes more time to peel that masking off afterwards. The reason it exists is for consistency, especially if it's a replica of somebody's guitar, like the SRV or the Rory Gallagher. Yeah. It's almost necessary. Otherwise, how would you match them?
No, fully, if it's a replica of something, fully agreed.
It's necessary. The other reason, from what I understand, I've never used them, but is if there's a certain pattern that the builder really likes, and it's only on the Masterbuilt from what I can tell, unless it's a replica. The Masterbuilder likes this configuration, he'll then use it. But as far as the time goes, just imagine. You've got to lay it down, the stencil down. You've got to...
That's my B question. Like, how is it actually done? Because I can't imagine...
It's a mask. It's a pre-cut mask. You stick it down, and then it's painted. And then you have to go back with an X-Acto knife and peel off every single one of those pieces. That versus kind of going at it and having freewheeling it, it's not a time saver.
Throwing a screwdriver at it 20 times.
Right. We all have our weapons of mass destruction. So that freewheeling it takes considerably less time than applying, peeling, and detailing the masking. So it's not a time saving. It's for consistency or to achieve a look that you want. That's it.
I wish I had been a fly on the wall when that happened on the internet. In your office, like, because what are the chances that some nerd, I mean, I only knew about it because some nerd obviously posted it on the internet.
We're all nerds.
But I would have never, ever found, I mean, the chances that those guitars that have, then they're not exactly the same. It's parts are the same. Right. And then from that stencil, it goes off into paint or no paint. I mean, they work from there. It's just parts of them.
That's exactly it. And the process is loose. It's a loose process because paint reacts differently, what you're using, how you hit it, and how you sand it. It's just really to maintain consistency or get it to look like you want it, and then you can modify on your own if you want.
As Leslie, my girlfriend, said, and she rightfully pointed out, who cares if some guy in France and some guy in Lithuania and then me, we have...
You ever ran into him at a club playing the same thing? What an embarrassment. It'd be like wearing the same suit.
And the thing is, if we did, we probably still wouldn't notice. Because who looks at... I, of course, looked at the pictures, and there's a certain thing around the jack plate that is specific, and only certain parts, which I now, of course, focus on. But no, it makes total sense. I was like, oh, they're just trying to save time. They're trying to rip us off. I mean...
Totally not.
So I did you wrong. I did you wrong.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of how we could do it quicker. It's not that process, I'll tell you that much. It'd be some sort of automated robotic paint gun that avoids the... I don't know.
Well, there was all... I only saw maybe 4 or 5 pictures. So if you're saying that's like something that one builder really likes, and that's just like to go from there because they really like that pattern, well, that makes sense. But you look at the 4 or 5, you're like, well, if there's 4 or 5, maybe there's thousands. You know, but of course, probably not.
No, definitely not. We only build a handful. Some months I'll just build 2 guitars in the whole month. So there's not going to be that many.
What do you do with your time? Are you lazy, Ron? Is that what's happening? Come on.
Put the screws to me, why don't you?
Well, thanks for your time.
pleasure,
Thanks
guys.
for not running off. I would have understood if I asked the difficult questions that the internet wants to know. You know, he's a little softy. He's like, yeah.
What else?
I got.
Let's see.
Well, we
Here's
could.
some other tough ones.
Really? You want me to go?
I'll give it a shot.
Oh, Mr. Give me a hug, man. I love you. Okay.
There's no.
Okay.
no attention to the
Same
man
thing we
behind the
talked
curtain.
about last year. I've got certain things because I speak for those guys. You know.
All right.
I mean,
If I can answer it, I will.
You pay me for videos. I get you don't, but Fender pays me for videos. But I still work for you guys. So something that kind of bugs me is you have on Wednesday, you have this kind of VIP only thing where the dealers kind of pick the guitars they want to buy and then they get raffled off, which makes sense.
Right.
But because of that, because all these are already sold, we're standing behind a velvet rope. And I kind of feel like, look, you have potential customers here, you have people here who actually, in the end will buy the thing because the dealer kind of only temporarily owns it. So the final customer, I think, should have a way of actually going to these instruments. And I understand they're very expensive, but roping something off always to me feels wrong.
Put yourself in the dealer's shoes. He just bought that for X thousands of dollars. It's in perfect condition right now. Some chatterhead comes rolling through here with his spiked wristband on and digs into it.
I get it. I fully get it. But why not do the dealer event on the last night? Okay?
Buy them dinged up.
No. Look. You know. First of all, there's several that are already dinged up because you did that. And okay, I mean, look. Okay, you did this deliberately. And secondly, if one really gets dinged up, I'm pretty sure that guy that did it is insured, or you're insured for everything.
No, we don't want to rebuild it though. I'm not going to.
But that's what I'm saying. You can build so many more. For me, this is
I said I built 2 a month. How am I going to build so many
because
more?
you're lazy. That's just do 3.
Okay, I can't answer that other than from how I said it. No dealer's going to want, and I don't.
I get that.
And I'll tell you, last year I built a couple guitars we shipped right after the NAMM show in subarctic weather, and the finish cracked on them. They checked. They weren't relics, so they were brand new finishes, and I had to rebuild those guitars, and that killed me. That was a drag. I hated doing it because now they're not even getting the guitar that they purchased, so that was a shame. But
Just charge more. Now they're cracked. Now they're relic. Come on.
that's not the point for
Charge more.
It's not about that at all for us, for at least me.
Look, the one answer you gave is the one I love. You just don't want to build them again. That's honest. You could, but you just want to build new stuff because you're excited by the new things.
Exactly. And that one in particular, that's a special guitar. And the guy,
Which one?
This Carina one that's going to Music Zoo, that is a phenomenal instrument. And I told them that, and they're stoked to get it. Now to say, it got buggered up or something happened to it, I've got to do another one, that's going to break everyone's heart, including mine, because this was such a great instrument. So that
I get it now. They're his babies.
These are my babies. Are you kidding? Absolutely. We put so much time and effort into them. They're very special. So when something goes wrong with them or something happens, especially in shipping, that's a heartbreaker.
Oh, trust me, shipping guitars. I mean, I get so many guitars from companies, and sometimes they end up on Reverb after a while that I use them, and then I ship something to the US, and they get lost. I have a signature guitar, and we had a very special one that was kind of made wrong, and we only had a couple pieces. And then a fan brought it to my place because he bought one, and he bought 3 of that guitar. And he donated one, and the money was going to go to the local animal shelter. And a fan in Chicago, the guitar is regularly $250. It's a very cheap guitar. He spent $760 on it. And they went to Chicago, went to the animal shelter. The guitar still hasn't arrived after 8 weeks now. So I might actually have to take my personal one and ship it to him. And it sucks when it's, why are these companies treating these instruments like this? Yeah. Mine is only $250, but it's something special to the fan.
Exactly. It's special to all of us. And that's really the whole attitude about building guitars, too, is we all have a passion for it. So putting our heart into building it, knowing it's going to somebody that's going to appreciate it and be inspired by it and play it and love it. It's a great product to be a part of. And when something goes wrong, it's a drag for everyone.
Start our own shipping company, and the only thing we ship is guitars.
Ingenious.
We could make no money at all.
Fender shipping. Fender shipping.
Worldwide.
Fender guitar shipping, that's it. We know how to ship guitars. Amps, no. Pedals, no. Guitars only. But they arrive in style. Okay, well.
I got a name for it too. FUPS. F-ups. F-ups. Boom.
Yeah.
Done. And on that note, I'm going to say, because I have a sign-out sentence, I don't think he has one.
Not really.
Eat your cheddar with Kung Pao. Put cheddar on your Kung Pao. I don't know. Animals at the end.